The medical bay aboard the interspecies research vessel Concordia had fallen silent. Dr. Sam Taylor stared at the readouts, aware of the 5 alien observers watching his every move. Their exoskeletons clicked softly as they shifted position, their compound eyes never blinking. The Vrel had been the most vocal critics of humanity's inclusion in the Galactic Council, citing biological frailty as their primary objection. "You may proceed with your demonstration," said Nix, the lead Vrel scientist. His voice, translated through the ship's systems, carried unmistakable disdain. Sam nodded and gestured to his human colleague, Tom, who lay on the examination table, a nasty gash visible on his forearm. 3 hours ago, Engineer Wilson suffered this laceration while repairing the secondary thruster assembly, Sam explained. In most council species, this would require immediate medical intervention and synthetic tissue grafting. For us, it's a minor injury. Nix's antennae twitched. "We are aware of your primitive biological systems. Your bodies break easily and you lack natural armor. This only confirms our assessment." Sam smiled patiently. "I'd like to scan the wound and display it on the main screen." The bay's holographic display flickered to life, showing a microscopic view of Tom's wound. Even now, platelets were clumping, forming clots. White blood cells had already begun fighting potential infection. "This is what makes humans different," Sam said. "We heal continuously, efficiently, and without external intervention for most injuries." "Many species heal," interjected Rala, another Vrel. "This is not impressive." "Not like we do," Tom spoke up from the table. "Last month, I watched your medical team spend 6 hours reconstructing Commander Vrex's exoskeleton after a minor fracture. My broken leg last year? 6 weeks and it healed itself." The aliens exchanged glances, their compound eyes reflecting the medical bay lights. "Continue," Nix commanded, his tone slightly less dismissive. Sam pulled up previous scans of Tom's arm, taken at 30-minute intervals. "Notice how the blood vessels have already begun reconnecting, how stem cells are multiplying at the wound site. By tomorrow, new skin will be forming. In 2 weeks, you'll barely see a scar." One of the younger Vrel moved closer to the display. "This rate exceeds our biological recovery by a factor of 12. And that's not all," Sam continued. "Show them your hand, Tom." Tom raised his right hand, where 2 fingers had been severed at the first joint years earlier. Engineer Wilson lost these fingers in an accident on Earth. With regenerative therapy, technology we developed based on our natural healing abilities, we stimulated the remaining cells to regrow the missing digits, fully functional, with nerve connections, fingerprints, everything. The medical bay remained silent for several long moments. "Impossible," Nix finally said, but with less certainty. "I wish to examine," said another Vrel, stepping forward. After several minutes of scanning Tom's hand with their own devices, the aliens stepped back. "The genetic pattern is continuous. These are not prosthetics." "This is why you need us in the council," Sam said gently. "What you see as weakness, our soft bodies, our lack of natural armor, forced us to develop other solutions. We heal quickly because we must. We developed advanced medicine because our survival depended on it." Nix's antennae flattened against his head. "You suggest your physiological disadvantages are actually advantages?" "I'm suggesting that different evolutionary paths create different strengths," Sam replied. "The Vrel evolved perfect exoskeletons, making you nearly invulnerable to physical harm. But when you are injured, recovery is difficult. Humans evolved rapid cellular regeneration and adaptive immune responses." 3 days later, the true test came. An explosion in the engineering deck left 2 Vrel technicians and 1 human severely injured. The Vrel medical team worked frantically to save their own, but the complex damage to their exoskeletons proved challenging to repair. Both survived, but would require months of recovery and multiple surgeries. The human engineer, Lisa, had suffered 3rd-degree burns over 20% of her body. The Vrel doctors had initially given her little chance of survival, unfamiliar with treating such fragile beings. Sam and his medical team went to work. They stabilized her, applied regenerative matrices to the burns, and monitored her carefully. To the aliens' astonishment, her body began healing almost immediately. New skin began forming within days. 2 weeks after the accident, Lisa was walking the corridors again. Her new skin was pink and sensitive, but functional. The Vrel engineers remained in medical stasis, their recovery barely begun. Nix requested a meeting with Captain Miller, the human commander of the Concordia. We have been incorrect in our assessment of human physiology, the Vrel scientist admitted. Your healing capabilities exceed anything in our medical database. Captain Miller nodded. Different species, different strengths. The Council has requested that we establish a joint medical research initiative, Nix continued. They believe human regenerative medicine could revolutionize treatment for many Council races. We would be honored to contribute, the captain replied. As the meeting concluded, Nix paused in the doorway. There is a human concept I have been studying. I believe it applies here. What's that? Asked Miller. Appearances can be deceiving, Nix said. We saw your soft bodies and thought you weak. We failed to see the remarkable strength within. The captain smiled. That's the thing about humans, Nix. What doesn't kill us really does make us stronger. Across the galaxy, the news spread. The supposedly fragile humans possessed healing abilities that might transform medicine for all species. What began as mockery ended with respect, as the interstellar community discovered that sometimes the greatest strengths hide behind apparent weakness. And humanity took its rightful place among the stars, not as conquerors or warriors, but as healers, turning their evolutionary necessity into a gift for all sentient beings.